It's story time with Mitch Jeserich. Today, a Buddhist ghost story written down more than 125 years ago by Lafcadio Hearn. Its oral form from Japan is likely much, much older. Lafcadio Hearn is one of my favorite writers from the late 19th and early 20th century. He was a man of the world who wrote sensitively about the people he met. He was born in Greece in 1850, but grew up in Dublin, Ireland. Still a teenager and abandoned by his parents, he moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, where he began his journalism career and is remembered for writing empathetically about the city's Black, immigrant, and poor communities. He actually lost a job for violating the anti-miscegenation laws after marrying Mattie Foley, a Black woman who was once enslaved. Their marriage didn't last. In his late 20s, he moved south to New Orleans, where for the next decade he embraced through his writings the city's Creole culture and helped create the city's image as a mysterious and decadent place. I don't believe in ghosts, unless we are talking about memories, which is interesting to think about. But many years ago, I took some LSD and wandered through the old streets of the French Quarter at night until the sun came up the next morning. Again, I don't believe in ghosts, but I believe I saw some that night. Lafcadio Hearn saw ghosts too. He made his most impactful mark when he went to Japan, where he spent the remaining years of his somewhat short life. He died at the age of 54, my age now. Japan had just been forced from the barrel of guns on U.S. warships that arrived at its coasts to open itself up to international trade. Japan, up to this point, was an insulated society, and the introduction of foreigners and foreign goods forced both exciting and painful changes. It was a time of modernization known as the Meiji period. While some were enamored by the fast-moving changes, others lamented the moving away from traditional ways. After arriving in Japan, Lafcadio Hearn married Koizumi Setsu, who was also his literary collaborator. Koizumi Setsu was from a traditional samurai family that had lost its status through Japan's transformation. With her as a guide, Lafcadio Hearn learned the old Japanese oral ghost stories and wrote many of them down in English. It said they weren't a straight translation, but his version of them. Nonetheless, his tales helped preserve the Japanese oral tradition, and ever since, he has been revered in Japan. The movie, Kwaidan, based on his short stories, is considered one of the great movies of Japan's illustrious cinematic legacy. Today's story, again what I like to call a Buddhist ghost story, is about fear and how the illusion of fear does not come from out there, but from within. I am reminded of the quote by the writer Anais Nin when she wrote, "We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are." This story is titled Fragment. It first appeared in Lafcadio Hearn's collection of short stories called In Ghostly Japan, published in 1899. So, without further delay, a Buddhist ghost story. And it was at the hour of sunset that they came to the foot of the mountain. There was in that place no sign of life, neither token of water, nor trace of plant, nor shadow of flying bird, nothing but desolation rising to desolation, and the summit was lost in heaven. Then the Bodhisattva said to his young companion, "What you have asked to see will be shown to you, but the place of the vision is far, and the way is rude. Follow after me, and do not fear. Strength will be given you." Twilight gloomed about them as they climbed. There was no beaten path, nor any mark of former human visitation, and the way was over an endless heaping of tumbled fragments that rolled or turned beneath the foot. Sometimes a mass dislodge would clatter down with hollow echoings. Sometimes the substance trodden would burst like an empty shell. Stars pointed and thrilled, and the darkness deepened. "Do not fear, my son," said the Bodhisattva, guiding. "Danger there is none, though the way be grim." Under the stars they climbed, fast, fast, mounting by help of power superhuman. High zones of mist they passed, and they saw below them, ever widening as they climbed, a soundless flood of cloud, like the tide of a milky sea. Hour after hour they climbed, and forms invisible yielded to their tread, with dull, soft crashings, and faint, cold fires lighted and died at every breaking. And once the pilgrim youth laid hand on a something smooth that was not stone, and lifted it, and dimly saw the cheekless gibe of death. "Linger not thus, my son," urged the voice of the teacher. "The summit that we must gain is very far away." On through the dark they climbed, and felt continually beneath them the strange, soft breakings, and saw the icy fires warm and die, till the rim of the night turned gray, and the stars began to fail, and the east began to bloom. Yet still they climbed, fast, fast, mounting by help of power superhuman. About them now was frigidness of death, and silence tremendous. A gold flame kindled in the east. Then, first to the pilgrim's gaze, the steeps revealed their nakedness, and a trembling seized him, and a ghastly fear, for there was not any ground, neither beneath him, nor about him, nor above him, but a heaping only, monstrous and measureless, of skulls, and fragments of skulls, and dust of bone, with a shimmer of shed teeth strown through the drift of it, like the shimmer of scrags of shell in the rack of a tide. "Do not fear, my son," cried the voice of the Bodhisattva. "Only the strong of heart can win to the place of the vision." Behind them, the world had vanished. Nothing remained but the clouds beneath and the sky above, and the heaping of skulls between, upslanting out of sight. Then the sun climbed with the climbers, and there was no warmth in the light of him, but coldness sharp as a sword. And the horror of stupendous height, and the nightmare of stupendous depth, and the terror of silence ever grew and grew, and weighed upon the pilgrim and held his feet, so that suddenly all power departed from him, and he moaned like a sleeper in dreams. "Hasten, hasten, my son," cried the Bodhisattva. "The day is brief, and the summit is very far away." But the pilgrim shrieked, I fear unspeakably, and the power has departed from me." "The power will return, my son," made answer the Bodhisattva. "Look now below you, and above you, and about you, and tell me what you see." "I cannot," cried the pilgrim, trembling and clinging. "I dare not look beneath. Before me and about me there is nothing but skulls of men." "And yet, my son," said the Bodhisattva, laughing softly, "and yet you do not know what this mountain is made." The other, shuddering, repeated, I fear, unutterably I fear. There is nothing but skulls of men." "A mountain of skulls it is," responded the Bodhisattva. But know, my son, that all of them are your own. Each has, at some time, been the nest of your dreams and delusions and desires. Not even one of them is the skull of any other being. All without exception, have been yours in the billions of your former lives.